A very good morning to all present here. Welcome to the orientation ceremony of the DME Law School for the students of batch 2024 to 29. Today we have with us Honorable Mr. Justice Bhavar Singh Sir, Director General DME and former Judge Allahabad High Court. I welcome you, sir, and we are honored by your presence. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to Professor Dr. Rajinder Kaur Randhawa, Head DME Law School, Noida, to this event. To acquaint our audience with Sir, Sir was appointed in the UP Judicial Service in 1970s, after which he obtained the Sir was promoted to Higher Judicial Services in 1979. His Lordship presided over a special court of CBI Dehradun and was then elevated to the Registrar of the Allahabad High Court in 1992, where he worked for about 3 years. Sir then graced the office of Registrar General, Supreme Court of India, and was elevated as the permanent judge of the Allahabad High Court on March 26, 1999, and held the office up to 2007. His Lordship was then appointed for 5 years as President, UP State Consumer Commission. Thereafter, Sir adorned the august office of Chairman, Judicial Training and Research Institute, UP, from 2012 to 2014, and joined Delhi Metropolitan Education as Professor and Director General in July 2014. At Sir's request, we are skipping the welcoming ceremony with a planter. I request our Director General, Honorable Mr. Justice Bhavar Singh Sir, to kindly address the students and bless them.
Well, it is only when one is introduced that he realizes how long a journey one has traveled and traversed through. Otherwise, in the busy schedule, it hardly comes to the mind when I joined service, when I was promoted, how many promotions had taken place, where I was placed, where I got achievements, etc. Good, thank you, Dr. Vedavirya. Dr. Randhawa, HOD, Law Faculty, Dr. Vedavirya, the anchor person, other faculty members, students, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a very privileged occasion for me to introduce to you and get introduced. Actually, orientation is the time for you to come in contact with your peers, to know about your teachers, to learn about the activities you might be asked to undergo during your 5 years program. I have been conveyed that you have already attended many events to learn all about that, and I am glad that your orientation is being conducted by your very competent faculty members. Friends, today we'll discuss a few elementary things which I believe all of you know, but rarely they are in use, they are not executed because of the carefree attitude at this young age of your career. Friends, these elementary facts are the principles of life. In other words, I can say they are the lessons of life. If you learn them, I can vouchsafe that you will be a very successful person in your life. If you ignore them, consequence may not be as good as they should have been. So to start with, The first principle of life is the discipline, rule of discipline, or say the principle of discipline. And discipline is not stand-alone. It has so many components. For instance, honesty, good conduct, your dress, your well manners, and humility, etc. When you will be doing research or conducting some other task to be given to you, you may copy the other's material, but that will not be an honesty. Plagiarism is strictly prohibited. For dress, you need not wear costly dress, be it in college or elsewhere in a function. You are expected to wear an elegant dress. And when you behave with others, it is expected that the well manners and etiquettes are exercised by you. This is an excellent trait. And why? Because it plays an important role in a student's life, because it is necessary for your scientific growth, your goals to be achieved. You might be knowing many kinds of captain: an aeroplane captain, a class captain, a ship captain. All the captains have only one goal, and what it is? To reach at the destination. Being this in mind, the elementary rule of discipline is very important. The next rule for successful career is the rule of confidence, the principle of confidence. Friends, the world is the history of a few people, not all. History is not known by all the people who take birth here, come, rule, may be kings, might have attained lot of materialism, but not all are remembered, only few. If you happen to go to Rajasthan, where dozens and maybe hundreds of kings during last 5 years might have ruled, hardly anyone is remembered. You go here, there and everywhere, you will find the statue of Maharana Pratap. He is known everywhere. The young generations, the children, they study in their school syllabus the life of Maharana Pratap. Why? Because he had a confidence to win the war against Mughals. It is different whether he could or he could not. But he never surrendered. And because of this quality of his and his kingdom, he is remembered today. And he is remembered by all the generations to come in Rajasthan. This is the rule, this is the principle of confidence you must exercise. In a circus, which have been banned today, but generally they are shown in the movies, the hunter master doesn't control a lion by his hunter alone, but he controls him by his angry attitude shown by him in the ferocious eyes of the lion. It is how the lion is controlled. And this is achieved by the hunter, by the ringmaster, by his confidence. Confidence coupled with courage and hard work can lead you to success. It's when Vasco da Gama left his country, Portugal, in search of India, people of his country said that he has gone mad. He would die during the journey. But he had a confidence to discover India. It is different that many teammates of his on the simple boat died during the journey, because the journey was 2 years long. It had taken 2 years for him and his team to reach Calicut, which is today known as Kozhikode in Kerala. And this happened in 1498, almost 1,000 years back. But he had the confidence. It was his confidence which had led him to the success, though it was very difficult job. Friends, we move on next to the next principle, and it is the rule of decision making. Decision making. You will have 5 years to travel to the course of law. During these 5 years, you will decide which direction you have to travel, you have to go. But decision making is very important. Before you take a decision, you must have a goal. And when you have a goal, then the other principles, that is discipline, confidence, must go along with you so that you can reach at the destination. Friends, it is said that the life is a journey of struggle, or say it is another name, that is, struggle is another name of successful life. The struggle has to be constant struggle. The Mahabharata story, I believe all of you know. When Arjun was in the Swambar, then he could see as a goal only the eyes of the fish and nothing else. Like that, you have to take a goal, and with that goal, you are expected to take a rightful decision. Friends, I would like to share a one story of a gold mine contractor who had taken a land on lease from the government and started digging the land with the help of the laborers, of course. He and his laborers went on digging and digging for 2 years. No gold was discovered. He got frustrated, and in that frustration, he decided to sell the gold mine. The other contractor who had bought it started digging from the point where the restwhile contractor left, and at a distance of 3 feet only, the gold was discovered. What lesson we should learn from this? That we should never take a decision when you are in crisis, when we are in an anxiety mood, when we are in depression. The decision making should never be exercised under such crisis. So friends, decision making power is for your growth, for your success. To learn it is also a quality of your character. Friends, we move on to the next principle of life, and it is that of firm determination. Dृढ़ निश्चय, firm determination. Only when you dream some goal, then only you can reach at the zenith of your career. You might have heard the name of Dhirubhai Ambani, a great industrialist, the father of Mukesh Ambani, the chairman of this Reliance Group. He used to say that have a big dream in your life. Only then you can proceed with some success. Friends, we had the missile man APJ Abdul Kalam as our President of India, and he used to say that dream even when you are awakened, and fulfill your dream before you go to sleep. It's a wonderful thought. Alexander the Great saw a dream, and in that dream he saw a white horse dancing on his shield. He got an hint that dance is done only when a person is happy. It was an indication to him to win the war, and he won. He won victory over not only one country but many. Friends, one very interesting, many of you must be playing cricket, and I don't think that anyone is here who doesn't know the name of Sachin Tendulkar. When he was not so popular, he had gone to play a county in England. In the day and night one-day match, he scored a century, and at about midnight, when the entire team, including him, reached the hotel, Then he announced that now he had to proceed after dinner to Newcastle, another county, Newcastle. Every teammate of his was shocked. Why? Because Newcastle was located at a distance of more than 700 miles from London. Initially, Sachin did not understand, but when he realized that it will take 7 to 8 hours, then he understood the seriousness of the matter. He and his friend, a non-cricketer Jatin, left the dinner and started driving their car in an anxiety to reach before the match starts. And it was a coincidence that in London he played day and night match, which finished at night, but in Newcastle he had to play the day match starting dot at 9:30 in England. They drove with a speed, taking the tea for refreshment during the journey would have gone adverse to their arrival in time. When such an anxiety is there, one or more wrong things come to the way. What happened that after about 400 miles, they lost the right road. They went on the wrong track and their speed was more than the prescribed limit. A constable started chasing them. When they realized that they were being chased by the traffic constable, they got horrified. And he signaled, the constable signaled to stop. They stopped and they were questioned, interrogated by the constable. Where are you going? We are going to Newcastle to play a match. Then the constable had browbeaten them that not only you are driving with a fast speed, but you are also on the wrong track. And when he was going to impose a punishment of fine, then Sachin Tendulkar introduced himself that I am so and so. The constable was not knowing. But when he said that he would play the match on behalf of the Newcastle County, then the constable was pleased because he himself hailed from county. He allowed them to go without any fine and they were put on the right track by the constable. When they arrived at the hotel, the other teammates were leaving for the playground. The duo comprising of Sachin Tendulkar and Jatin requested the manager of the team that please allow them to sleep for half an hour, and they promised that they will be in the playground well in time. He permitted them. And the duo got ready in time. Sachin Tendulkar was to play. He reached there on the ground well in time and scored another century during that match also. And when he was fielding, he used to sleep between the changeover of the over, between the duration of the change of the over for 10 seconds only. 10 seconds he would sleep. And he played well. And he won. The match was won by the team of Sachin Tendulkar. So it is how that firm determination plays an important part in one's life. Had Sachin Tendulkar been frustrated by the information that it will take 7-8 long hours to reach Newcastle, perhaps he would have cancelled. But no, he had the firm determination to be there in the playground of Newcastle, and therefore he achieved that. Friends, the next principle of life we must adopt is the principle of good behavior. Good behavior. The common experience shows that the young people in their teens or around do not believe in behaving with their teammates with decency. They do not exercise well manners, and knowing fully them what should be the etiquettes of a gentleman, they ignore it. But that shows the personality trait of a person who doesn't believe in well manners. One thing you should never forget, that a smile can win the day. If you are having a smiling face, people will be pleased to see you, to meet you, to interact with you. But if you are having a serious temperament, then things may not be as good as will be with a smiling face. Smiling always keeps the environment you live in pleasant. That's why whenever you travel in the aeroplane or go to a hotel or some other organization, the receptionist always will receive you with a smile. And I would like to share the story of a mill owner who was manufacturing, who has established an industry of manufacturing clothes. He wanted to have a wholesale dealer. So he went to a market, of cloth market of course, and he started talking to shopkeepers. He conversed with a dozen of them, but was not happy. Why? Because somebody was lacking well manners, somebody did not have good language to use, a few had rough language, they had a rustic behavior, etc. Towards the end of his search, he met a small shopkeeper who received him with a smiling face. He conversed with him, asked, "Show me the white cloth, green cloth, orange cloth, blue cloth, etc." He might have seen dozens of clothes, dozens. And at the end, he said, "Please cut this white cloth in only 1 meter's length." 1 meter only. The shopkeeper was unruffled. In normal course, somebody would have been feeling angrily. You have seen hundreds of clothes just for 1 meter? But he, with well manners, cut 1 meter cloth, folded it, put in the bag, and while handing over, observed, "Sir, keep on coming, this is your shop." Excellent behavior. The mill owner was impressed by his elegant face and extremely good etiquettes. Then he introduced to the shopkeeper that he was a mill owner, he wanted a wholesale dealer. And that shopkeeper was appointed by him as a wholesale dealer. I wonder if you know that wholesale dealer at times earn more than a mill owner, because it is he who sells the clothes being manufactured by the mills. This is how this trait of good behavior, well manners, good etiquettes play an important part in one's life. Friends, we will move on. Then the rule of happiness. There is vast difference, don't mingle it up with the principle of well behavior. It's entirely different. If you are happy, your family will be happy. Your peers will be happy. The entire environment will be full of happiness. A class teacher asked a 8th class student, a girl, "What keeps you happy? You are always looking, smiling, laughing, with pleasant manners." The girl replied that, "I keep happy in the company of my brothers and sisters who are my playmates. And I keep in the company of my classmates happy because they share with me their views. They share with me the gossips, and we keep on conversing with each other for long. And it gives her the greatest happiness when she is in the company of her class teachers. Because the class teacher teaches her the lessons of life, besides the syllabus of course." Friends, then she said that she is always delighted in the company of her parents because they look after her. particularly when she falls ill. They provide medicines to her, the warm water, call the doctor, etc. Though it is the job, it is the parent's duty to do all that, but it is the attitude of a girl. Then she said that she feels happy while watching at the high mountains, greenery, the night lights of the city reflecting in the river. And friends, if I say all this is a Brahmand, it may not be an exaggeration. Keats, who was a poet in England, had a short life because of his peevish temperament. He would not tolerate criticism of his poems. But, as I said earlier, the ill temperament, the peevish nature, they will not keep anyone happy. So this happiness rule must dominate in your life. Friends, we are coming towards the close, only 2-3 more principles left. The next principle is the rule of, or say the principle of self-independence. Self-independence. Have confidence and faith in your merit. Never underestimate yourself. Even if you have not succeeded in some task, don't think that you failed because of something was lacking in your efforts. No, it was a chance. Ignore it. Michael Farid was a bookbinder, a laborer. When he was repairing an old book, his eyes fell on one line, that if two things are put together, the third is the result. He was impressed a lot by this. Then he started doing experiments. And one day, he invented dynamo. Dynamo which is used in your motorcycle, in your car. And then he went on doing research. He invented the electric motor. And that's why he was said to be the father of electricity. A bookbinder became a great scientist because he believed on his merit. He believed in his capabilities. Posing in Europe was a poster boy. He used to carry the posters of the heroines of the films. Now that practice has been abandoned, now because everybody is computer savvy and can see which pictures are being released this month or this week. But there was a time, and I have seen that when I was in the intermediate classes, I have seen a group of band persons going with posters of the hero heroines of the pictures. They used to beat drums so as to create a noise others may hear them, that which picture is going to be released in the city. Posing was that kind of poster boy. He started painting the pictures of heroes, and one day he became a great painter because of his faith in his merit of self-dependence. Shakespeare, as you might have heard, who was a great author in England, he was a go-down watchman. In the free time, he was in the habit of writing short stories or some write-ups. And one day he became a great author. He wrote Othello, Merchant of Venice, and many other. These plays are depicted in England even today. And the waiting period is 6 months. If you go to London, then 6 months before book a play of Shakespeare. His shows are so popular. One more instance on this point. I mentioned the other day about President of America, namely Wilson, who read 1,000 books by the age of 21. There was another president who believed in self-independence, and he was Abraham Lincoln. In his childhood, he used to read in the light of fire. He hailed from a poor family. But the poverty never restrained him from rising and rising. Self-dependence is a wonderful trait. You must always keep it in mind. He was driving ponies, used to cut wood from the jungle to enable his mother to cook food for him, and it was his life in the childhood. But he was a keen reader, and by the age he reached high school, he became an avid reader. He studied law, became a lawyer, opened his own law firm. He wanted to know the theories of Blackstone in law. Blackstone was a great philosopher, and he said it was his theory that it is better 10 guilty persons escape punishment. I repeat, 10 guilty persons escape their punishment instead of one innocent is hanged to gallows. It was his theory. When Abraham Lincoln came to know that this was the legal theory propounded by Blackstone, the great philosopher, a jurist, then he thought to read the book of Blackstone, but it was not easily available. He went to a judge, some 50 miles away, crossed the river on foot by wading through the waters, and requested the judge to lend the book to him for some time. Thus the judge delivered the book on the condition that you will return it in 1 week. With that anxiety, when he was coming back on foot, he read half of the book of Blackstone. It was the quality of that person, and when he completed the book, he returned it to the judge with lot many thanks. This quality of being an avid reader must also have some space in your mind. I shared the other day also that the college time is the study time. After you finish your studies, you may not have time to study because you will be engaged in some or the other occupation. So read as many books as you can and follow the rule of the principle of self-dependence. Friends, the other principle, last but one, is the principle of respect. Always respect your teachers. कबीरदास जी का दोहा सुना होगा आप लोगों ने, गुरु गोविंद दोऊ खड़े काके लागे पाओ, बलिहारी गुरु आपने जिन गोविंद दियो बताए, बहुत मशहूर. Always respect your teachers. They not only teach you the syllabus, they are your mentors. They advise you in your decision making, and also they advise you when you solicit their advice at the time of crisis. In this connection, I will share two very small anecdotes. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was our first president. When he and the entire nation was fighting the Battle of Movement against Britishers, he was a practicing lawyer in Patna. Shankaracharya of East was prosecuted for sedition. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was representing him as a lawyer. When Shankaracharya entered the court, then Dr. Rajendra Prasad touched his feet by taking off his cap. As you know, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was a Gandhian. Gandhi cap was worn by all the freedom fighters. He took his cap off, touched the feet of Shankaracharya. When the judge presiding the court saw this, Dr. Rajendra Prasad doing this exercise of touching feet, then the judge realized that he is some great man, because Dr. Rajendra Prasad himself was a very popular advocate in those times. Maybe this alone was not the reason, but the judge acquitted Shankaracharya of the charge leveled against him. And Dr. Rajendra Prasad showed this respect, not only to show the judge that he was a respectable person. But indeed, a saint, a hermit who is knowledgeable, who knows the Hindu mythology, deserves the touching of his feet. So friends, always respect your elders, the persons who are deserving. Your discretion must be exercised when you are meeting a person. You know about him. If not, try to learn about him and show the respect he deserves. The other example is also of the same Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Once he went to Qatar. The king of Qatar came at the airport, and the king went to receive him inside the plane, received him, brought him, drove the car himself. The journalist asked, "Sir, you are a king of a nation. Why you have gone to the airport and why you yourself drove the car?" Then he said that he received the President of India, it was one thing. But he showed the utmost respect to the great person because he was his teacher. Dr. Rajendra Prasad had taught the king when he was taking education in Delhi. So he showed that respect to a teacher. Maybe the teacher happened to be the president of a nation. Friends, we move next to the rule of punctuality. यदि आप समय से पीछे चले तो पिछड़ जाएंगे. You must observe punctuality. If the 9:30 is the time for your first period, you must be there inside the college campus before time. Rise early, take your breakfast early, move early, commute early. Everything you have to do in the morning must be to observe the punctuality. Once the king of Nepal came to Mathura for Bihariji's darshan. He was late by a few minutes. The priest has closed the door of the temple. The district paraphernalia, comprising commissioners, district magistrates, the superintendent of police, and lot many other officers, they very earnestly requested the priest to open the door. The priest did not budge an inch. He said that if he will do that for the king, then the dignity, the divine grace of Lord Krishna will be undermined. He did not do. If you want to value, if you want to estimate the value of time, then ask P.T. Usha, who lost Olympic competition by one position. He stood fourth. And 10 athletes of India in this Paris Olympics had stood fourth position. They missed. The racer, who would have been by a fraction of second third, he missed by it. Punctuality pays a lot in time. Friends, तुलसीदास जी ने भी कहा, का वर्षा समय चूके पुनि का पछताने। समय चूकने के बाद पछताने से क्या फायदा। का वर्षा जब कृषि सुखाने, अगर कृषि सूखने के बाद बारिश हुई तो उसका क्या फायदा। This is an indication of what even our great poet Tulsidas had thought of. Always do everything with punctuality, on time. And the last, adopt divinity. The divinity does not mean something religious. It comprises of ethical values, good moral character. You are the law relating persons. Keep 3 words always in mind. 3 words. These 3 words revolve around the nomenclature of justice. If you are a judge, you will be dominated by these 3 words. And when Mr. Dr. B.K. Ahuja came, he referred to many avenues available to a law graduate. The law firms, the corporate world, the judiciary. You must read one judgment given in January this year by Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chanchud, which entitles a civil judge, when you obtain the bachelor's degree, you are eligible to appear in the examination, in the competition for judiciary. And if selected, a civil judge gets, besides salary, 21 kinds of allowances. How many? 21. What are they? Before I tell you 3 words, I must count the allowances. 21, if you start counting, it will take 21 seconds at least. They are free house of 5 rooms. After 5 years, you will be around 23 or 24. I was 24 when I became a judge. Free house, free electricity, free petrol allowance, free mobile, free net, free water charges, leave travel concession, home travel concession. It will take long for me. You must yourself read. Though it is here with me, but I do not want to take more time on this. I must inspire you to become judges. You will be enriched with these 21 kinds of allowances besides your salary, which will be around 1 lakh rupees per month. Taking these allowances and salary together, it will be 4-5 lakhs per month. And you may not believe, rather, you may not be knowing that when I joined service, no allowance was admissible, only salary was there. Now, if you obtain master's degree, you will get allowance. I was masters of law, I did not get any allowance. But the knowledge I gained paid a lot in my service career. Friends, coming to the three words which dominate one's life, be you are a lawyer, you are a judge, you are a corporate person, or even an executive, a manager, a CEO, whatever you are, three words must be your day routine life. What are these three words? These are just, fair, and reasonable. Whatever the dealing you take to execute, be just, be fair, and be reasonable. If you will follow these three words, you will follow dignity. You will follow the morality, the ethical values. Friends, have always a positive approach, and I'm sure that if these principles take some space in your mind, attitude, temperament, you will certainly be a successful person. Lord Buddha said that if you want to lead a good life, never mourn for the past, nor worry for the future. Stay in present and be happy. Thank you. With these words, I bless you all.
Thank you, sir, for your inspirational words. With this, we come to the end of this event. I take this opportunity to thank our Director General, Honorable Mr. Justice Bhavar Singh, sir, for gracing this occasion. Thank you so much, sir, for your constant support and for your blessings. We look forward to your guidance in all our future endeavors as well. I also thank Dr. Randhawa for joining us here today. With this, we conclude this orientation lecture. I thank all the dignitaries for being here.